They say a near-death experience changes you. They don't tell you how. They don't tell you the whispers follow you back, clinging to the edges of reality like shadows in the rain. And they don't tell you about the eyes. The rain was a constant, a relentless curtain of water that seemed to isolate my small cabin from the rest of the world. I'd retreated to the remote mountain getaway after a particularly grueling period at work, seeking solitude and the soothing rhythm of nature. What I found was something far more sinister. I'd always found the sound of rain comforting, a white noise that lulled me into a peaceful slumber. But that night, the rhythm changed. It became a frantic drumbeat against the roof, a relentless pounding that echoed the frantic beating of my own heart. The cabin was old, built from rough-hewn timber, and the rain amplified every creak and groan of the structure. I'd lit a fire in the hearth, hoping to chase away the chill that permeated the air, but it only seemed to deepen the shadows that lurked in the room's corners. I settled into an old armchair, a book open on my lap, but my eyes kept drifting to the window, watching the rain distort the already dark landscape into something alien and menacing. Everything felt off. The air was heavy, thick with a sense of dread. It was as if the rain wasn't just falling from the sky, but seeping up from the earth, a dark, viscous liquid that carried with it a chilling presence. I heard a soft tapping on the window, a sound distinct from the rhythmic drumming of the rain. I glanced up, expecting to see a branch swaying in the wind, but there was nothing, just the endless, swirling rain. Then the tapping came again, louder this time, followed by a faint scratching sound. It was as if something was trying to claw its way inside. I stood up, my heart pounding in my chest, and moved to the window. I peered into the darkness, but the rain obscured everything. I strained my eyes, trying to make out any movement, but there was nothing, just the swirling rain and the impenetrable darkness. I told myself it was just the wind, the old cabin settling, but the feeling of unease persisted, a cold, icy finger tracing down my spine. The rational part of my brain was screaming at me, telling me it was nothing, just the storm playing tricks on my senses. But another, deeper part of me knew something was wrong. Something was watching me. I retreated from the window, my hands trembling, and returned to the armchair. I tried to focus on my book, but the words blurred before my eyes. The tapping and scratching continued, growing louder, more insistent. It was as if something was trying to break through the glass, trying to reach me. Suddenly, the power went out, plunging the cabin into complete darkness. The fire in the hearth flickered and died, leaving me alone in the pitch-black silence. The only sound, the relentless drumming of the rain. I fumbled for my phone, the flashlight app casting a weak beam into the darkness. The cabin was filled with shadows, elongated and distorted by the flickering light, turning familiar objects into menacing shapes. Then I saw them, two glowing eyes reflecting the light of my phone, staring at me from the window. They were large, luminous, and filled with an ancient, malevolent intelligence. I gasped, dropping my phone, and stumbled back, my heart pounding in my ears. Those eyes, they were not human. They were cold, predatory, and filled with a darkness that seemed to seep into my very soul. I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that whatever was outside wanted me. I scrambled to my feet, my breath coming in ragged gasps, and ran to the bedroom. I slammed the door shut, locking it behind me, and barricaded it with a heavy dresser. The tapping and scratching grew louder, more frantic, as if whatever was outside was trying to break down the door. I huddled in the corner of the room, my body trembling, my mind racing. I could hear the sounds of something moving around the cabin, scratching and clawing at the walls, the windows. It was as if the cabin was under siege, surrounded by something unseen, something malevolent. Then the sound stopped. The silence was deafening, broken only by the relentless drumming of the rain. I held my breath, listening intently, but there was nothing, just the silence, heavy and oppressive. Suddenly, the bedroom door burst open, splintering into pieces. I screamed, my voice lost in the roar of the rain, and scrambled back, my eyes wide with terror. The figure stood in the doorway, its form silhouetted against the darkness. I could see the glowing eyes, burning like embers in the darkness. It moved towards me, its movement slow and deliberate, its eyes fixed on mine. I felt a coldness wash over me, a feeling of dread so intense it was almost physical. I knew with a certainty that chilled me to the bone that I was about to die. Then everything went black. I woke up in the hospital, the rain a distant, muted sound. The doctors told me I'd been found unconscious in the cabin, suffering from hypothermia and a severe concussion. They said I'd almost died. But I knew the truth. I knew what I'd seen. I knew what had touched me. And ever since that night, I've been haunted by those eyes. They appear in the darkness, in the reflections of windows, in the depths of shadows. They whisper to me in the rain, their voices a cold, rasping sound that promises a return. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I can still feel the coldness, the icy touch of something inhuman. The doctors said it was a near-death experience, a hallucination brought on by the cold and the fear. But I know better. Those eyes, those whispers, they're real and they're waiting. Want to hear more true stories that will keep you awake at night? Click the link below if you dare, and let the darkness consume you. Just remember, sometimes the things that almost kill you never really leave.